Hey guys, welcome back to CallMeNakomi, your hopefully weekly place or multi-weekly place for just thoughts and theories about the Wheel of Time. At least from my point of view, or just my opinions. Basically, I've read the books several times. So basically, this has just been so many thoughts. It's funny because there's just been so many thoughts I've written down in my notes on my phone and my iPad about the Wheel of Time. And basically, I never had anyone to speak about it with. And but at the same time, sometimes I posted on different Wheel of Time Facebook sites, and I got a cool response from a lot of them and learned some things, and I love that. Because that's what this is all about. It's basically all about just coming together and creating a community, a Wheel of Time community. Randland. We will turn the world into Randland. Put money on it. Okay, so basically today I just wanted to talk to you about a couple of thoughts that I've written down before or have posted before, and just basically to be able to maybe just expand upon my thoughts basically, and some things I've never really shared with anyone. I just never had the chance to really talk to people about it. Before I go into it, could you go ahead and just subscribe? I really appreciate you coming to the channel and coming to see me, or just coming to see what I gotta say if it's something different than anybody else. I mean, I've heard a lot of different things, but as I read through the books, I have like my own kind of dialogue that goes on, and sometimes I'm just like, I'll create a note immediately while I'm just like listening and riding around. So anyway, okay, so first thought that just came to my mind. Okay, so basically, I'm actually hoping that these guys who are making the books, who are making the series for Amazon, the actors, just go ahead and get the audiobook. I mean, I get it. The purists out there basically feel like, you're not really reading it unless you're touching it. I feel you. There's many books that basically I had to own, but just due to the fact that basically I was introduced to the Wheel of Time through audiobook and read and listened to all of the audiobooks, I am collecting the actual books too. But at the same time, it's so great to be able to, because I hear people talking about rereading, and it takes them like darn near a year to get through the entire series. So could you imagine that? I've gone through the entire series at least, maybe I could do it once, maybe at least 2 to 3 times in a whole entire year. If I really push through and maybe skip parts, maybe this time I'll focus on Nynaeve, this time I'll focus on Perrin, and I'll really pay attention to those, and the ones that I know a lot better, I'll basically just kind of skip over. Or if I want to be excited, I basically run straight to the Lion on a Hill chapters. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's basically just the freedom and that audiobooks give. I think that these guys will be able to get an idea of these characters. I mean, I understand some people might say, oh yeah, Michael Kramer and Kate Redding are basically, by them acting it out, it kind of maybe takes away from the writers. I don't believe so. I believe Robert Jordan is a genius. I believe Kate Redding and Michael Kramer are talented, but at the same time, I don't believe they take away from it at all. I highly enjoy the audiobooks. So please check it out if you can. I was gifted with it and blessed with the whole series basically. But at the same time, hey, I feel like it will do them a service to be able to grasp those characters earlier than waiting for them to basically take an entire who knows how long to read through a book series. I would love it if by the time they do their next season, they start to film the next season, that they've at least read this whole series twice. And while you're out there working, you can't think that they're only going to be doing Wheel of Time. So I would really appreciate that if they're basically doing it by the audiobook. If anybody knows this information, please contact me and let me know, so I can basically talk about my happiness about that. Or if they're not, I mean, hey, more power to them. But at the same time, it's not something that to me was completely necessary, if that's the route that they're choosing. So or you can contact me either through comments, like and subscribe, please, or you could basically send me an email at CallMeNakomi@gmail.com. Bam. Okay, so basically, the first thought that I have to share, I'm going to try to go through these quickly because I like the sunlight, and sometimes the light might get dim or, darker. It's because I'm going into my parking lot. So basically, but first one, I feel like my favorite line in the entire series, even though I have many lines that are absolutely great, that I absolutely love, but my favorite line is, use what you must or let the shadow cover the world. That right there, from Maureen to Rand, after him basically mentioning it after she dies, to realize that he understood and she understood what it took to save the world. He had to do what he had to do. He got dark at the end, but thank goodness he was able to turn back around. But plain and simple, he had to do what he had to do. He couldn't just let, Perrin and Matt just go wandering off in the world because they want to do what they want to do. No, you don't understand what's at stake. Forget me, my daddy's in this world. I got 3 women I love that's in this world. I got to save this world. It's my duty. And he basically took that to heart. So I always felt that was a great line from Maureen, and the fact that he basically, really started to trust. It told me that he really truly started to trust the teachings that she gave him. Hopefully, I'm hoping before she passed away, but at the same time, either way, she saved the world when Matt saved her, basically coming in to make sure the Dragon's Peace happened, make sure we were all on one accord to go fight in Tarmangaiden. Big ups to Maureen. You the GOAT. Number 2. What book is this? Gosh. Okay. I'm drawing a blank right now. I should have basically wrote this down, but it's basically a bath scene after Rand comes out of his stupor, after he thinks that he rapes Min, and basically she tells him that no, we did that consensually, you good. And then basically he's having his bath and getting out of his stupor, and Min has a viewing, and her viewing is that you and another man will touch, and one will die and one will live. And so Rand takes it as basically it meaning that him and Lews Therin have touched, and one's going to live and one's going to die. And he's so fatalistic about the situation where he's just like, you know what? Well, it could be me. It could not be me. Maybe one day he'll take over in my brain and it won't be me walking around anymore. But at the same time, the true meaning was that him and Moradin would touch, and then basically one would live and one would die. And therein lies basically the conflict of light and versus the dark. Basically, that basically just showed the duality between the light and the dark, and how basically only one could survive from the last battle. Even Moradin, either evil had to die or the light would die, basically. And so that to me was one of Min's greatest viewings, because it basically told Rand, you have a chance to live beyond the Eelfin and the Eelfin, basically telling him that the way for him to die is for him. The way for him to live is for him to die, and it's beautiful but at the same time, that one is to me so much better, because it gave Rand, if he really would have thought about it, or maybe this didn't happen yet. No, him getting Ilion and killing Ishamael didn't even happen yet. So basically, So basically this was beforehand. So he had at least some kind of inkling that, yeah, you have a chance. You can pull it off. Way to go, Rand. My last thought for the day is the fatherized mind. How when they basically had a son of a maiden come home to them, and they made the promise that he will wake in the morning, sleep and wake. That is, it's real. It's real. So basically, it was a real slap in the face when Rand used to disrespect them. They basically, they pledged their lives to it. They were just like, listen, if you got to do it our way, but at the same, you have to let us do our thing our way. But at the same time, don't jeopardize everything, including my honor, because you want to run around, because you want to basically be young and dumb. So I always thought that, their dedication to protecting Rand was so fierce. I just really, really respected how Robert Jordan basically wrote that. Secondly, Tom Maryland. He left the Two Rivers after seeing an Aes Sedai take a young man away from his home. And it seemed to him to trigger something that reminded him of his nephew, Owen. And how he had a chance for a life, and he loved him and cared for him, but at the same time, he could channel. And Tom Maryland basically blamed Aes Sedai for his death, understanding that basically he would have gone mad and been a danger to people and himself. But at the same time, he figured, you know what? I could try to give him a fighting chance, and decided to do that with Rand. He said he was too late for his nephew, but he decided to stick there for Rand. And for Tom Maryland, while he basically along the way, he fell in love with Moiraine. And so as her warder, he followed her to Shayol Ghul to stand outside the maw of the Dark One's prison and basically be their bodyguard, their warder. He was the last line of defense. And he figured, you know what? The Isle down there, the Tyrants Lords, which happened to be the first country to really swear to Rand. That's dope that they were the ones to watch Rand's back and to fight for Rand to protect him in Shayol Ghul. But basically, Tom was the last line of defense, and I always thought that was very, very poignant, that he started off trying to protect Rand. And he basically, he cared for the other boys, and he helped Matt out a lot. Matt wouldn't have got as far as he did if he wasn't Targaryen and actually needed Tom too. But basically, Tom needed him, and the world needed him, and he would give up half the light of the world to save the world. This series is amazing. Please, if you've never picked it up, The Wheel of Time. It begins with the eye of the world. If you want to do it like how I did it, please go ahead and read New Spring first. It gives a little bit more context to me. It basically it raised the stakes basically when I started the Eye of the World, because I knew it was real, and I knew there were forces out there really trying to win for the Dark One, basically. So I'm gonna end it there. So thank you for riding with me. I know you noticed that the last video basically was in a office area that I have. Basically, I'm trying to do a little bit of a mix. for my shows. Sometimes I'll basically just expound off of notes that I have, or sometimes I'll basically just go off the cuff, or basically I'll also just do videos where I just need a little bit more structure. I need to be able to look at a screen, and I can't really do that when I'm driving. So, but multitasking queen. Anyway, all right, y'all. Until next time, call me Nakomi.